this is the agenda of the session. That in today's session we are going to understand the various APIs available, connecting with a database, and we will write a 5 functions, which is adding a record, displaying all the records, searching by various ways, modification of record, deletion of record, and then we'll write a complete menu driven program. It's a small project wherein we are doing all these things. Then how we can do connectivity in Google Colab. So whenever we do this kind of thing, we face a problem that MySQL server is not there to help us to connect. And then we have a QA and the last feedback form. The feedback form is required to get the certificate, and please make sure that you are writing a right email ID while submitting your feedback form, because that email ID is connected with your feedback and a certificate. So if you are writing a wrong email ID, definitely you will not get the mail for the certificate. So please make sure that while writing your feedback, please fill right email ID. So now I'm going to start, because I always use Jupyter Notebook to do my things. So again, I'll start my Jupyter Notebook. So as I have already given you how to work with Jupyter Note, so I'm writing a command cmd prompt that Jupyter Notebook, and my notebook will start, which I've already created notebook, and this notebook consists of my all codes. Now I'll share the screen. So this is my screen. I hope this is visible to everyone, that my screen, it is written here Python interface. So when I say Python interface, basically what we want to do, we want to connect MySQL with Python. And if you go with so many books, you will find out there are many options written there. Few of the books are writing Python MySQL DB, few are writing MySQL connector, and few are writing PyMySQL. So we have a various books available in the market to connect first front end with our back end. Now, as we start with this session, so we know what is an API. Now, what is an API? APIs are the application interface which are being created by the developer to help us to do certain tasks very easily. For example, if I'm making an app, so I don't require a location module to embed in my app. So there is an API which I just need to embed in my program, and I can using particular location module in my any of the labs. So similarly, we have our APIs to connect with a database. So Python has a different APIs available for working with different types of database. To work with MySQL database, we need to download MySQL. We need to download the MySQL. These APIs facilitate okay. So it means what we need to do with this. So we need to import the module first. Then we need to acquiring a connection with the database, issuing database command in Python, closing the connection. So like yesterday I was doing this work, my 2 APIs was working properly, but one of the API was giving me a problem. The reason behind that was that I was using MySQL 5.1 version. So if you are using MySQL.connector option, so your MySQL version must be greater than equal to 5.5. So I have installed MySQL yesterday. So these are the websites from where you can install your MySQL. So you can use any MySQL above 5.5 version. Now, so as I said, we have a 3 library which I am discussing, because there are more libraries which we can use, but I am discussing 3 libraries. So first is a MySQL connector for Python. Now this is the library provided by the MySQL connector. So MySQL connector, if you use in your program, so that complete package was written by MySQL community. So all the capabilities is majorly handled in the MySQL environment, not with the Python. Then we have a MySQL DB. Now MySQL DB connects MySQL from Python, and it is written in a C language, and it is a free and open source. Again, this MySQL DB is basically when you need to install, you just need to use MySQL client. And this option will give you a problem in Windows 7 or 7 system, because it asks for the Service Pack 2 and some of the VC++ library. So again, you will face some problem while using MySQL DB in Windows 7 kind of environment. Otherwise, it is very much free and open source. Now, I have used PyMySQL for connecting my Python and MySQL, and it is a library connects MySQL from Python, and it is a pure Python library. It means every function from the PyMySQL is written in the Python language, and the goal was replace MySQL DB and work on CPython, because you know CPython is also there. You can use CPython to do your coding, PyPy and IronPy. So these are the three libraries which we will find out in various books it is written. So my recommendation is you can use PyMySQL. Otherwise, it's up to you that you can use any. And the CBSE is not referring any of the connector to connect with this. Now, how to install? So to do the installation, we need to open the pip on the command prompt, and we need to write pip install MySQL connector, pip install MySQL client, pip install MySQL. So I can show you that how it works. So you just open your command prompt and write these commands, your connector will be installed. Now, is any major difference between these connectors? No, there is no major difference between these connectors. I think just only a single word we need to change, and we can work with any of the connector. It means the complete program set is remains same. We just need to change the single word. Like I've shown here, the syntax and method are same in the connector. Just one word need to change. Let's say we are working with MySQL DB. So I'll write here import MySQL DB, and this is a case sensitive. And then I'll write, as I said in the first slide, that we need to do the connection bit with the database. So what I am writing here, I'm writing here DB equal to MySQL DB. So this is the name of the API which I am connecting. And this is the connect method. This is a method which will take majorly three parameters, mainly three parameters. First is a localhost, which is when I'm using MySQL on my system, it's by default, it's always localhost. Username of my MySQL and the password of my MySQL. So this is my password. You can write PWD here. You can write PASSWORD. You can write anything here. It will work. So this is the first line which we need to write every time we are connecting with a database. So MySQL DB dot connect, host equal to localhost, user equal to root, and password equal to SMSM. Let's say you are using for MySQL connector you are using. So then you will write MySQL dot connector import, and then herein you write MySQL dot connector, and the rest of the code remains same. Again, the host name, username, and the password. If you are using PyMySQL, so again it is import PyMySQL DB equal. DB is an object which we are creating to help us to work with the database. So the line again I have written here PyMySQL dot connect, host equal to localhost, user equal to root, password equal to SMSMB, and the name of the database is optional. So it's up to us that we want a name of the database through which we want to connect, or we can later on use this name of the database. Now herein I have just imported all these libraries in a one go. I have written, I'm using a Panda somewhere, so that's why I've written here import sys. I'm using one of the function of a sys library, but we need to use these three connectors. So we can write import MySQL DB import MySQL, PyMySQL, or import PyMySQL.connect. So I can use any of this. So I'll show you how we are getting connected to all three APIs. I have just given the code. Rest of the code remains same. So let's see. Now the first code is database connection using MySQL DB. So I'm using here MySQL DB. I'm connecting to the database name. I can remove this as well. It's an optional database. So even if I don't want, I can just remove this and I'll run this. I've used here exception handling as well. It's always better that you use exception handling with these code. Otherwise, you will face a problem while getting an error. I've written here try. So as everyone knows, so whatever the try block exception handling says, any of the error encountered during this code, the control pass to the except statement and it will give me the message database connection error. I'll improvise this line. I'll use the exception class here so that I can get the major message as E. So I am using an exception class and I'm writing here comma E. Let's say I change this name and let's see what error it will display me. So you say name of the DB is not defined and so many other errors is there and I have not connected to the MySQL DB. So the database connection error, you can see this is an error given by the exception handling. A simple error, a same line because I have used E here. So whatever the error is written in the exception class is displaying here. If I'll not do the exception handling, this kind of error will be displayed, a bigger error, which a normal people cannot understand what's the error. So it's always better you use this concept so that you will get a proper message what is an error. So that is the purpose of an exception handling, wherein the program will terminate, definitely is, because we have done something wrong. Program will terminate, but before terminating, it will give me the message that why it is being closed. So I'm explaining this code because I'm using here MySQL DB. So I've raised here try and I have written here MySQL DB.connect, same method, and as I've written name of the database is optional. So when I execute, this much code will give me connected successfully message. In case any error during the connection, it will give me the error. Now, so this much code is required for every program. Then we need to create a cursor. Now, what is a cursor? So the cursor method of a connection object is used to work with the database. Now, what is to be done? Because there are two separate applications. One is a PyMySQL, one is a SQL, MySQL, and one is a Python. So how they both will communicate with each other? So cursor object always helps them to communicate with each other. So cursor is an object which takes the data from Python and sends the response to the backend MySQL and vice versa. So the cursor will help us to do all this kind of things. Now we have an execute method. So whenever we need to do any SQL statement, any of the SQL statement, whether it is a DDL statement, whether it is a DML statement, or it is a TCL statement, so we need to use an execute method. So we can write the SQL commands in execute. So I've written here cursor.execute show database. Now this code, what I have written here, this is a code because cursor.execute all method will get the records, but it's always be in the memory. As I said, that the cursor method always take things in the memory, but we need to send to the computer. MySQL, we use commit method. We want to display on the Python, so we use a fetch method. So there are three methods available to get the data into the Python display. One is a fetch all, fetch many, and fetch one. So herein, whatever the effects, whatever the rows is returned by the show databases command, that will be stored in the cursor, which is in the memory. And then using fetch all method, I am extracting all this data and displaying this data onto the Python screen. So this is the code wherein I am writing show databases and fetch all command for displaying all the data. I hope this code is clear to everyone. Now, this was MySQL DB. Same code I have written with a MySQL connector. MySQL connector, as I already told you, that was giving me a problem that when I'm using MySQL 5.1 version. So whenever you are doing, make sure, or you can write character set equal to UTF-8. That is another solution. But better you use 5 point, more than 5.5 version. So I have written here import MySQL.connector, importing the library. Rest of the code remains same. I've just fetched all the records and I've added this code show databases and fetch all as well in the try block, so that in case of any error in occur in any of these 5 statements, the error will be displayed. So I'll run this code and see the output. Now you will see that now I'm using a PyMySQL. Now, using a PyMySQL, I have done same course, but herein I have used try catch this statements outside. So again, this code will work. And herein, all 3 codes you have seen that I am using all 3 APIs, and all APIs are working same. There is no problem in my system. So you can use any of the API if you are using Windows 10 with service pack and all installed. Now, creation of a database with user defined user name. Now, this code here in what I am writing, I have just added this much code, which is just connecting with a database. I have not used any of the database name. And then again, I have used a try and catch block so that I'll get a different error if there is a problem with this code, and I'm using a different try catch block if any error occurs in this case. So I have written here import what I am using here, which connector I am using, PyMySQL I am using here. So for a complete set of the other codes, I am using PyMySQL. So I've written here db equal to, I have asked user, because what the code I'm writing here, I'm creating a database with user defined name, and I have written here db1 equal to enter database name, data equal to create database db1. So I've created an SQL command. If you see, this is my SQL command, MySQL command, create database plus db1. So my SQL command is ready. Now what I need to do, I need to open the cursor. So what is the command? So it is cr equal to db.cursor. As I've already explained, that cursor is required to get the things in the memory. And then I have executed the command data. So this is my command. So I've already created a string. I just pass the string here and the message database created. In case any error, it will give me an error. So I've just executed. You can see here connected successfully because the database connection is successful. Let's say I write a database which is already exists. So it will give me the error. Database already created or database error. So maybe an error because I have not used exception class to display any particular message. So it is always giving me same message. So let's run and write here another database name. Let's say I'm writing Naveen. If it does not exist, it will. So you can see here database created. I hope I'm opening my MySQL screen as well so that I can simultaneously show you what is going on at the backend. So I'm going to MySQL. My password is SMSMD and my MySQL is ready. So this is my MySQL screen. I can write here show databases. So my database name Naveen is there, but it is not having any of the. If I write here show tables, there is no table. I will open this, use Naveen. write here show tables. There is no table because I've just created the here. I hope this is clear that how can we create with a I hope this is clear that how we can create a user defined database. So this was my connecting user defined databases. So herein I have written a code wherein I'm using the command use. So again the same steps I have written here. DB. Again we have started with the same code because we need to connect because this much code is required. I have written here try db1 and use command plus name of the database and just execute it. My database will be open. Let's say I'll open here database name called Naveen. So I'll write here Naveen. So my database will be open. So it's written here database open. So in which I'll work. Now how to create a table. Now my database is already open. My cursor is already open. So what I am writing? I am writing the code for this. Try cursor.execute. I have written the complete SQL command in this and I have written a primary key as well. I'm using a constraint and then I have written print table created. Except in case table already exists, just display the structure of the table. So I've just written something else as well. If the table exists, it will show me the structure. So let's execute and see the output. So the table was not there because Naveen database was empty. So this table is being created and message is there, table created. But let's say if I run this program once again, what will happen? So it will say me table already exists and the structure is, you can see the describe command is there wherein I am displaying the complete structure of the table. Whatever the records returned by the fetch all, it's in the shape of tuple. So I have used here for I in cursor, that is my CR, the object, and written here print I. So every time I'll execute this loop, the structure of the table will be each row, whenever we say DESC student, so there are rows. So each row of the table will be defined. So this is my field name, data type, not null, constraints, and whether it is taking any value, and then extra. So these are the 5 columns which displays when we do the any kind of thing. Now let's say we are running the code to insert, because I am writing here the predefined code to get into the MySQL. So I have written here cursor.execute insert into student values 4 Daksh 67. So I have passed all these values, and if I run, my SQL table will be already created. Now it will row insert. So if I go back to the MySQL, it will show me the rows inserted. If I run again this code, because there is a primary key in the table, it will give me the error. Error in inserting rows, maybe primary key error. So this way we can check the exception handling side by side for writing the code. So if I go back to my MySQL, if I say MySQL, I'll see to it that my database was Naveen. So I've already showed tables. So you will see here that my table is there. If I say describe student, you will see the table is there. If I run here, select star from the name of the table. So you will see I have inserted 3 records, 4, 5, 6, Chahat, and the marks, it's there. So that's the way we can do the connectivity with the Python. Now, so this much we need to do because we have to do the computer science student need to make a project. So they need to know what are the ways to connect, how to create a database from the front end, how to do all these things. So that is there. Now, as I've already given us some message that we have a 3 method to fetch the records from the backend, from the cursor to the Python screen. From the cursor to the Python screen, that is fetch one. It fetches the single row from the result set. Fetch many. This method returns the block of results according to the set limit, and fetch all required to return all the rows from the result set. Row count function I'll use later on. Now, herein I have written a small function which is displaying all the records, extracting all the records from the table and displaying in the shape of tuple. My cursor object is already open, so I don't require to open the cursor object. I just need to execute the statement because connection is already being established with the PyMySQL connector, and we have written here cr.execute, and whatever the rows is returning, I'm storing, because row count function will tell you how many rows being returned by the particular fetch method. So when this method will execute it, it will return you the value how many rows you have in the memory. So I've used fetch all, and then I have written print x, which is displaying these nested tuple, and I said number of rows fetched, row, that is 3, because there are 3 records in the table. So that is the way we can extract the record. It means this is the function which is displaying all the records. Now, the next function is, because I have already used, I'm already having my all records in X. So herein I am displaying the X, displaying the tuple in the proper formatted shape so that it display look like a tabular formation. So you will see here student number 4, Daksh, Navya, Chahat. So these are the number of students, and absolutely displaying in the shape of table. That is, I have used here format function to do this kind of thing. So in earlier versions of the Python 2.7 or 3 point somewhere, we were having %d, %s kind of environment to do the formatting. But now in a latest way, we can use a format function with a curly braces. Now I'm explaining this concept. Wherever I have written curly braces, format row 0 will be displayed. Row 0 is, row is my variable, and the value 0 will be available. So that is the way we can display. Herein I can write the number. If I write the number, let's say I write 2, 1, 0, you will see the sequence of the curly braces will automatically change. Now, this one is related to the first curly braces, this one is related to the second curly braces, and this one is related to the third curly braces. So if you write the number between the curly braces, the sequence you can change while displaying it as well. By default, whatever you are writing in the sequence format function, it will display all these things. So that is the purpose of a format function. Now, from here, I am writing a code for 5 functions. I'm writing the code, menu driven program basically for all 5 functions. So what I have done, I have created a method, or we can say function, which is saying connection DB, and I have written the complete code here, wherein this is my connection code and this is my connecting to the database. So in case database not exist, so it will say me database open error. In case there is an error of connecting with the database, it will give me the error database connection. So if I write here, so I'm connecting with a, you will see if I execute this method, nothing happened because I have not called the function connection DB. Here in the next statement, I'm calling the function called connection DB. You will see to it connected successfully and database open. So this is a message which I have already written in the above code, and it's displaying me that. So what the student can do when they are making a project, They can create a function or they can create a library for this, and they can call this library into every function. Now inserting user defined records. So how to do the user defined record insertion? So we have only three columns in the table. So I ask user to enter the three values. So the function name is try def c add record. So I'll make c add record. I have asked user to enter the roll number, NA, and then we have a M, and created a string saying insert into student, and the column names in the bracket used for again the format function R will be replaced with the first curly braces, NA will be replaced with the second curly braces, M will be replaced with the third curly. So this MySQL string will be created, and then I am writing here cr.execute query, and the query will be executed. But as we know, MySQL auto commit is always on. But when we are sending any of the statement from the front end, the TCL commands is disabled at the backend. So whenever we are writing any insert, update or delete command, we need to write db.commit. So there is a concept, transaction control language. Now what is a transaction control language? So to manipulate with the DML statements, so we have this concept, commit, rollback or save. So what will happen? Commit means saving all the changes into the database, and the message row insert. So if I run this program, nothing happened because I have not called the function. Now herein I'm calling the function, and I'll just remove C. I'll call the function. It is asking me roll number 6 I've already installed. I'll say 1, Mr. Rajesh, and marks we got 100 on 100. So you can see here row insert. So this is a way we are writing add record. Again, I have used exception handling, and I've used here exception class as well, because in case any error in this code will give you a proper predefined message that what is the cause of the error. Now searching the record according to the student roll number. Now what is the way? So we are here using linear search technique, wherein I am extracting the complete, I am using a single record set from the database. So I have written here, create search roll number. Now my function number is search roll. I have used a parameter, and I have created a string here, select star from student, where roll number, again I am using a format function. So again, automatically this n will be replaced to the curly bracket. So I have written the command, select star from student, where roll number equal to whatever the value being passed by the user. Then cr.execute, and because we are getting only one record, so I've stored that record into the fetch one. If F0, as we don't require this much, because if the value is same, then we can say record found, else we can say record not found. So this is one of the way to check whether record is there or not. So I'll write here 4, and we can see here that the value is there. And if I run this code and I enter any roll number which is not there, it will show error, none type objects subscriptable. So there is an error because the value which I am sending is not matched with the. So that error is given by this code. Not found wala nahi hai. This is error with this code because it's not matching with the, because we are fetching a record and that is not going to the else part. Now searching the record according to the student roll number. So again we are writing a same name, and we are just writing student roll number using row count function. So we have a row count function which tell us the number of rows returned by the server. So I have written here fetch 1. I can eliminate this code as well, fetch 1. Whatever the cr.execute query, I have just asked cr dot row count. So whatever the number of rows is being returned by this statement, automatically it will be stored in n1. If n1 is not 0, means whatever the, if the rows is not 1 or anything, any value, so I'll say record not found. So this can be the another way to use. So you can see the error. Search role is not defined. So I can use here, I can write here 10. So record not found. It's giving me an error because it's going to this else. Searching the record by roll number by linear search technique, wherein I am fetching complete record set, comparing each record set with a value, and this is a code wherein what we are doing, we are using linear search technique. We are using linear search technique. So I fetched complete record set, extracted the record set, use the loop to go into each and every record of the data set and comparing with the K0 means because I am having the record set is of type tuple and I'm converting into the integer because sometimes it gives you a string type. So I've forcefully converted into a string. Now searching the record by student name, again using same technique, linear search technique, fetching the complete record set, comparing the each record set value. K1 means tuple's first value because tuple is having three values 0, 1 and 2. So if I'm writing 1, so it means I'm talking about name. If I write here 2, it means I'm talking about marks. So this is a way we can expand our code for searching with by different techniques. Now deletion technique. Now herein I have used the old method wherein I am using a percentage s kind of method. So I ask user to enter roll number which you want to delete. So try. Again I have created a string. Basically the problem with this code is only the syntax. As those who have already done with the Java, we always face a problem wherein what we got an error while writing the codes. So this is the only statement wherein you will get to know there is an error. Herein again I have used if record not found because if this statement will work, my cursor of my execute method will cursor method will give me the row count. If row count is 0, I'll say if not equal to 0, it means if it is 1, db.commit, delete the record deleted message, else record not. So this is a way we are deleting. So if I write here, I'll write here 4, my fourth record will be deleted. So I can check in my MySQL window. Now this is a code for updating, means modification. This is a code for updating the record. Update record underscore roll number. So I have written here, I have asked user सबसे पहले what I have done. First thing which I have done is finding the record which I want to change. So I have extracted the record, exactly that particular record which I want to change. Then I have written here cr.execute query method with the same string which I have already created with the percentage s method and just pass to this. N1 equal to cr.row count. If the value of row count is not 1, then means record not found. If it is not equal to 1, it means record found. And I ask user to enter the two values because I don't want the roll number should be changed. So I just ask user to enter these two values and return here update student name, set name equal to percentage s where roll number equal to s, and then percentage na comma ma comma r. So r will be na will be matched to this percentage, M will be matched to this percentage and R will be matched to this percentage. In for this, we can use also format function which we have used in earlier codes. So you can use format function or you can use double quote method to do this kind of updations. Now, so this was a code which I have already written 5. So my name was somewhere anything name. Let's say I write here Ashish. I write here now. So record updated successfully. Now, so this was a code to update. Now display all. Display all, what with this code will do? It's displaying the complete record set. We have already discussed this. So you can see here, Ashish sir name is being changed, Rajesh sir being added, and the third record was there. Fourth we have already done. So it means all these functions are working. Now, this is a menu driven program which I have called all these functions: add record, delete record, update record, display record, check roll number present, thanks a lot, and break. So I've used while true until the statement is true. I ask user to enter any of the choice and we can run the program. So this much code I have written, which is extracting all the records and the menu. Main menu, if I say search 5, I'll say 1, it will display me the code. Because I have called another function, there is a call in a function problem. So that's the reason it's giving me error. But if I write display all, it will display all the records. You can see all the records are here. Now, I think that much is sufficient to learn with the basics of any of the database APIs. Now, what is the highlight of this? Because we were talking about that Colab as well we can use to work in. So now I'll shift myself to the Colab environment and I can show you that how can we connect with a Google Colab. So I'll just open my Google Colabs. Everyone, I hope everyone knows how to open a Google Colab. And I'll say my already created file is there. I hope people are. So Google Colab is an environment which is used by the various teachers around the world and in Delhi and NCR, that you can share the code with a student. So this is a Google Colab. You just go to any of the browser and just write Google Colab. If you go to my screen, you can just write in the Google Colab. Google Colab is an environment wherein whatever the code you are sharing, your student can share with you and you can share the code with the student. So this is a thing like a Jupyter file only. This is again IPVNB file. Again, .ipvnb file we are creating using Jupyter notebook or using Google Colab. So whatever you are doing in a Jupyter, you can open here, and whatever you are doing in Google Colab, that the student can share with you. So the problem with the Google Colab is that this is an online environment. So it means if the student is using this environment, he or she needs a internet connection every time. And if they are working with Jupyter Notebook, which is an offline application as well, and people are using online Jupyter as well, wherein you cannot store the code, or people are also using Anaconda Jupyter Notebook. Anaconda is another environment wherein Python gives you flexibility to get into the maximum library pre-installed. But when we are using, as CBSE always recommend, use IDLE, so will not get most of the library pre-installed. So people are using different ways to work with a Python. Few people are using PyCharm, few using Thorny. So there are many environments available. So many teachers are using this Google Colab nowadays. So I am explaining you how you can connect, because when you are in the internet, so you don't have a local server. So it means you need a server through which I can connect. So first, whenever you are doing PyMySQL, you need to install pip install PyMySQL. So every time you are using a new notebook in Google Colab, you can pip install MySQL. So it will install my PyMySQL into my current library, into my environment. So you will see pip install MySQL is working and it is installed. Now again we have written import PyMySQL. So you will say import statement works, there is no error. And now the highlight of this session is this, that I have written here db equal to PyMySQL.connect, and I have written host equal to some number, user equal to certain number, and password is something. So why I've written this here? This is my local, this is not a local server. This is my server with a Google Cloud. I have created my account on the Google Cloud, created the database over there, created the public IP of that particular database and written here. That is my online library, online database available on my Google Cloud. 35.201.168.7. This is the IP address which I'm fetching from the Google server. And this is the name of the Colab, username of my server on the database, on the Google Cloud, and the password. All of you can use this for giving a demonstration to your student. This is open for everyone. This facility I'm giving on my Google Cloud services. So you can note down this code, that if you are writing the code on Google Colab, you can use my database server. You can create the table, but you cannot create the database in this environment. It means this you can use for the giving demonstration to the student, but you can create a table, you can do selection, you can do updation for single table, and you can give the student to use it for the demonstration purpose only, not for the project purpose. And they can create n number of the tables in this environment. If I run this command, you will see I have already created one database called .ipanb. So this is the name of the database as well. This is the password and this is the name of the database as well. So I have written here, connect with my database, current.db.cursor, execute method, and fetch all will fetch all the databases available in my Google Cloud. So again, a Google Cloud server is giving this. So I've created a table, so I've shown you. So I've cursor.execute use.ipvmb. I've given a command use to open the database on the Google server and creating this table. If I run this command, it will give me the error because my table is not there, because I've changed the name student2 to display all this thing to you. So my database student2 is being created. If I run this command, insert, same code I am executing, but on the Google Colab. All these codes will be available to you on my Wakelet account, and the video will be uploaded on the YouTube, my YouTube channel, as I have already given you the link. So you can see I have executed fetch all method. The 3 rows which I have inserted is there. I have not used the primary key field. So you can see here that records is being multiplied, means edit again and again. So again, I have written here a complete source code wherein I am writing the menu driven program on the Google Colab. I hope that session was good enough to. Thank you so much for everyone for giving such a wonderful time. Now I'll open the session for the QA and question and answer form. And I'm just pasting the. So I'm opening the session for the question and answer form, for the submission of the feedback form, as well as feedback form. I have. Sure, ma'am, we will sharing this code to you on the my Backlit account, and the complete recording will be available to my YouTube account, YouTube channel. I've already sent you my YouTube channel link to the mail which I have invited you, in which I have invited. I hope session was wonderful for everyone, and you people have learned so many things. And now you can tell your student about all these things, and you can share my YouTube channel with your student so that they can explore more. And I want few people, if you can on your camera so that we can take some screenshots. So many people are there, 225 people attended the session. Please, if you can on your cameras, we can take the few photographs. So many good people with me. Ashish sir, you can also join us. Rajesh sir, please switch on your camera. Ashish sir, you can take a screenshot and we can have a. In case you have any doubt, you can ask me in the chat window. We can ready to help you for any code. All of you got my mail ID, you got my mail number, so you can send me the message. Only few people have. So any questions, Rajesh sir, please see to it. Ashish sir, please see to it if anybody is asking any question, so that we are happy to answer. Rajesh sir, are you there? Rajesh sir, Ashish sir, you can unmute and speak. Feedback link I have already given, maybe something. Again, I'm pasting in the chat window feedback link. Get the certificate. Feedback link is must.